Today we're going to talk about simplifying variable expressions. Some people just like to call it combining like terms. So follow along in your notes. Okay, a variable expression is a mathematical phrase consisting of numbers, unknowns, variables, and arithmetic operations. Okay, so on the side of your notes, you're going to see a space for you to write down what a term is. A term is a mathematical expression containing a variable or a number. This should be or both. The elements can be multiplied but not added or subtracted. That's really important. The elements can be multiplied but not added or subtracted. The next thing on the list on the side there is a coefficient. It's the number portion of a term. So if I have 3x, the coefficient is the 3. If I have 12y, 12 would be your coefficient. A constant is a term without a variable. So if I have 3 or 7, and in this variable expression, 3x plus 7, the 7 is my constant. Like terms, terms with the same variable to the same power. So 3x and 4x are like because the variable they have is x and it's to the first power. So you can put these together to make 7x. If I have 3y plus 4x, I can't combine these because they have different variables. If I have 3x plus 4x squared, I also can't combine these any further because the power is 2 and the power is 1, so they're not like terms. All right, let's do some practice with this. The first one asks you to identify the following in each example. Just identify what are the terms, what are the coefficients, and what are the constants. So each one of these is a term. It includes the sign in front of it. So my terms are negative 2x, 7, and 9x. Those are the terms. The coefficient is the number before any term with a variable. So let me get a highlighter here. Let's do green. So that will be any number before a variable, and that includes the sign. So those are the coefficients. So my coefficient is negative 2 and 9. If you remember, constants are terms without variables. So we only have one of those here, and it's 7. And remember, you take the sign. All right, let's do the same for the next one. Let's identify the terms. So each one of these is a term. So we have negative 9, 5y, negative 8y, and 2. Let's take this out. Let's just put a comma there. Positive 2. The coefficients, again, are in anything with a variable, the number piece of it. And remember to include the sign. So my coefficients are 5 and negative 8. The constants, again, are anything without a variable, and you keep the sign. So my constants are negative 9 and 2. So why don't you take a minute and you guys try the next one. You can stop the video. All right, when we get back together, you can check yourself here. The terms are 14R, negative 5R, and 3. Okay, this is a tricky one because when you have that R that's by itself, there's really an invisible 1 in front of it. So don't forget to put that in your list of coefficients. So my coefficients are 1, which is in front of that R, and negative 5. And my constants are 14 and 3. Okay, try the next one, and then we'll get back and you can check it. List the terms, the coefficients, and the constants. Okay. The terms are negative 4h, 6, negative 2h, and h. Threw that curveball in there with that h by itself again. Remember that it's whatever's in front of the variable, including the sign, and there's a 1 in front of that. So our coefficients are negative 4, negative 2, and 1. The constants is just 1, is anything without a variable, and that's 6. Okay, the next section of this is simplifying. That means to squeeze these expressions down to the smallest possible form and combine anything that's like, which has the same variable to the same power, and constants are like. So let's simplify these together. So these both are j to the first power, so you can combine them. So negative 2 and 9 together is 7, and we're going to keep that j. Number 6, 4q plus 13q. Again, those have q to the first power, so they are like terms. So 13 and 4 together is 17. We're going to keep that power. 12r minus 17r. Again, they are like terms, so I'm going to take 12 minus 17, which is negative 5. I'm sorry, negative 5. Saying one thing, writing another. Negative 5r. X plus 4x, that's really 1x. These are the same variable to the same power. 1 plus 4 is 5. So this is 5x. All right, moving right along. M minus 8m, those are like terms. There's a 1 in front of here. So 1 minus 8 is negative 7. We keep the variable. All right, so the next one has 3 terms, and you can look at this a couple ways. You can do 9e minus 7e. Those terms are like, so 9 minus 7 is 2e, and minus negative 8e. Last week we reviewed what happens when you are subtracting a negative. It becomes a positive, so this becomes 10e. Same with the next one. Let's take this piece first. Negative 2w minus negative 3w, this becomes one giant plus sign. So negative 2 plus 3 is 1. So you have w plus 7w when you add that on. So we have 8w. All right, this next one. So we have 5t plus 3 plus 7t. We can combine the 7 and the 5t, but the 3 has to stay by itself because that's not like. So 5t plus 7t, let's just rearrange, plus 3 gives me 12t plus 3. This is as small as you can go, so that's going to be your answer. The next one is 7d plus 9 minus 10d minus 3. So I like to box up my like terms so that I know what I'm putting together. So 7d and negative 10d are like terms. So 7 minus 10 is negative 3d. And then I'm going to put a circle around my constants so I can combine those. 9 minus 3 is 6. We can't combine these two because they're not like, so that's my final answer. All right, next week we'll do a little more review on distributive property, but these are thrown in here, so I'm going to show you how to distribute. So you're going to take whatever is right against those parentheses, and you're going to distribute that number inside parentheses. So I'm going to take negative 6 times 3x, which is negative 18x, and then negative 6 times 1, which is negative 6. And you're going to bring down the rest of this and do what we've just been doing. So I'm going to combine all of my x's. So negative 18x and 4x is negative 14x. And then I'm going to combine any constants that I have. And remember, you're adding them. So negative 6 plus negative 8 is negative 14. And these two, not like terms, so you cannot go any farther. The next one that you have written on the bottom of your page is negative 2w minus negative 3w plus 7w. So I'm going to make this two negatives, make a positive. So I have negative 2 plus 3, which is w, plus 7w. Yeah, this is a repeat. So this is 8w. I don't know if on the bottom of your page this one was written, but let's go over this one. This is important. This is a trick that gets thrown in there. So I don't have a number in front of that parenthesis sign, but I have a negative. So when you have that, you're going to distribute negative 1, not 5. So I'm going to bring that 5 down. It stays the same. So negative 1 times 2y is minus 2y. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And we're going to bring down that 6y. It's really easy to forget to bring down the end of the equation. So now let's combine everything that's like. So we're going to add negative 2 and 6, which is 4y. Then we're going to go back and combine our constants. So 5 minus 1 is let's see. Let me go back. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we're almost there. So we were right here. So we're taking negative 2y and 6y together, which is 4y. And then 5 minus 1 is 4 plus 4. And that's as far as we can go. So remember, if there's that negative sign in front of there, you just distribute that in. We're going to get more practice on that. That's all I have for you right now.